Karnad got the idea to compose this play, Talleyrand. Talleyrand means Shirached, beheading someone. This play presents before us the protagonist Basvanna, who had seen a dream of the state of Kalyan, the city of Kalyan, as a state having no caste difference, having no class difference, having no communal difference. All should be referred to as Sharanas. No temple, no idol worship, nothing of that time, nothing of that type. Simply all are equal. No class, no community, no religion. All are Sharanas, all are equal. He wanted to bring equality in the state of Kalyan, in the city of Kalyan, and that's why this ideology during the time of the King Bijala in the city of Kalyan, in the state of Kalyan, was introduced by this thinker, by this intellectual named Basvanna. But did it work? Basvanna has many followers who give up their religion, their caste, their community, and they accept, they call themselves as Sharanas, and they consider themselves as equals irrespective of their caste. There are Brahmins who have joined this movement. There are cobblers who have joined this movement, because there is one cobbler character there. That's why I refer to. There are Brahmins who have joined this movement. There are cobblers who have joined this movement. There are people who are unfortunately considered to be downtrodden or Dalits. They have also joined this movement, and they are treated equal, all at par, no hierarchy at all. Now Basvanna, because he has made this movement very popular, he is the man, pioneer you can say, many people join it, and slowly and gradually he is gathering more and more people joining his movement and accepting to be Sharanas instead of calling themselves as Brahmins or these or that. But unfortunately, this does not work for a long time. The way Mandal Panch led to the tension between the people of upper caste and the people of I would like to say people of so-called upper caste and people of so-called lower caste, because all are made equal by God. These are the hierarchies that we have made. So when most of the people, they were accepting, slowly and gradually a wave emerged, and unfortunately this did not continue in case of Basvanna, as it happened at the time of Mandal Panch Commission. It was not accepted by many people. It led to the tension between the people of two classes, as it was eyewitnessed every day in the morning in the newspaper by the readers of the newspapers. It is a fact. And the other issue during that time, I am talking about early 90s, that was our Ram Janmabhoomi and our Babri Masjid issue. That also led to the tension between the people of two communities, unfortunately Hindus and Muslims. There in the play, as a result of the movement of Basvanna, a Brahmin family comes forward to give their daughter Kalavati in a marriage to a boy who belongs to cobbler community, Shilvant. Shilvant is the name of that boy, belonging to cobbler community.
Definitely so.
Shoemaker you can say.
Yes.
And Kalavati is Brahmin. Parents are ready. They have become Sharanas. They do not believe in this hierarchy, and they come forward to give their marriage Kalavati in marriage to Shilvanta, that cobbler boy. But unfortunately it is not acceptable to others, and it leads to the communal riots between the people of upper caste and the people of so-called lower caste, and that the result is merely bloodshed. Basavana's dream for equality, Basavana's dream for a casteless, classless society does not sustain for a long time. This truth of history has been picked up by Girish Karnad here to highlight that India has remained the same even today. Centuries have passed in between, but even today, either we quarrel in the name of gender, he and she, sometimes, or we quarrel in the name of caste and community, Hindus and Muslims, or upper caste and lower caste, unfortunately. So this truth of contemporary India has been highlighted by Girish Karnad through Teledand. That is, the basic subject matter has been picked up from history of the city of Kalyan in South India, history of a state of Kalyan, you can say, in South India. But by picking up that subject matter, he makes it relevant and wants to convey a message that, see, in the past we used to quarrel like this in the name of caste and community, and even today we continue quarreling in the name of caste and community. That means the basic truth highlighted is we have not learnt any lesson from the incidents of history. That is what he wants to say through his play Teledand, based on the history of India. That is the second play that I referred to. One more play that I would like to refer to is Nagamandalam. Comparatively, you can say recent play written in the second half of the 90s and performed also abroad and India.
Abroad and India, yes, definitely.
Now, Nagamandalam, the basic source for this play is, we can say, it is picked up, the basic subject matter, the source is picked up from Kannada folk literature.
Yes.
But once again, Girish Karnad makes it relevant. And now it becomes, after the recent incident which happened in Delhi, we can say, it becomes even more relevant. What exactly is the place of a woman in an average Indian family, male-dominated family? What exactly is the place of a woman? As I told you in the beginning, it is not a feministic work of art, but it definitely gives a voice to woman. It highlights the voice of a woman here. Now the play here deals with, we can say, a young woman who has been well brought up at her parents' place, who had given her a name Rani. That name itself is a symbol of how she has been treated at her parents' place. A beautiful woman. I am not talking about physical beauty. Simultaneously, I am talking about mental beauty, inner beauty. She is a sanskari woman, cultured, well-behaved woman. Long hair, the end of which sometimes gets entangled with her anklets. She is a woman who is well treated at her father's place, but given in a marriage to Apanna, who passes every night at the place of a cheap woman, a harlot, and rejects Rani. Her sad condition is marked by one old woman, Kurudva, and Kurudva gives her one piece of root which she was given by one mendicant and said, prepare a paste of this root, give it to your husband, and your husband, who does not love you, would fall in love with you and he would become mad after you. She prepares a paste, mixes it with curry, and curry goes unfortunately as red as blood. So instead of giving that curry to her husband, thinking that it may kill her husband, better to remain. See the greatness of Rani. Better to live without love of husband than to do something which may take away the life of that husband. So she pours that curry on the ant hill in which lives the king Cobra, and that curry is tasted by Cobra, and Cobra falls in love with Rani. Every night visiting Rani and going away in the morning, because Aparna passes every night at the place of that woman, rejecting, putting Rani inside that house. In course of time, because of the frequent visits of King Cobra, Rani goes pregnant. And because it is King Cobra, every night she was visited by King Cobra in the guise of Aparna, because of which Rani could not judge that here is not my real husband but King Cobra. We can say that this is the same as in the hut of Ahalya, when Gautam Rishi was there on the bank of Saryu to take his bath. Indra had come. The same way here we find Rani fails to judge who that person is, and she offers herself, she offers her love, she offers her body to that King Cobra, and as a result she becomes pregnant. And the result is, when Rani talks about it to Aparna, real Aparna I mean, she is bitten, tortured, abused, and all sorts of words are used by him. And there we find the condition of an average Indian woman in a male-dominated society. She says that she is innocent, and she is forced to prove her innocent. That means in every era, in every yuga, woman has to face Agni Pariksha. I don't want to use the words acid test, because acid test is not an equivalent, according to me, of Agni Pariksha. The way Sita had faced that Agni Pariksha, Rani has to prove her innocence either by picking up a red hot iron in her hand, or by putting her hand, plunging her hand in a bowl of boiling oil. If she is innocent, nothing would happen. Or if she is guilty of the sin, it would definitely affect and burn her hand. But at night, King Cobra comes as usual in the guise of Aparna and says, don't prefer these two ordeals. Prefer the ordeal of entering your hand into the anthill, of King Cobra, and bring out that King Cobra and speak one sentence which should be the ultimate truth. And this is how she does the same thing and says, after my coming to this place, I have touched only two human beings. One is my husband who slapped me, and one is this King Cobra. Her statement is true, and that King Cobra doesn't bite. It proves to be a garland round her neck, and her innocence is proved. But his doubt remains the same, because he has also never touched Rani, and yet she has. But Girish Karnad says tolerance is a must. Sometimes women have to tolerate snoring husbands, and sometimes men have to tolerate, husbands have to tolerate bald wives. The same way he accepts Rani finally.
So finally we have discussed Girish Karnad as a playwright, the time that we have been allotted. There are several techniques also which I will just focus on and then end the session. Is the dramatic technique, in which in Haiwadhan he has used this dolls technique. Into Nagmandal he has used this lights and all, when the lights go, the flames. So these are certain techniques which have been adopted by Girish Karnad, which proves him to be a different writer as a playwright. That is all from the studio. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sandhan, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.